Coach, thanks for joining us on the call today. If we could get your thoughts on the preseason to date and on the opening game with FIU, please.
We've had a good preseason. I think our guys are trained and ready to go. They're excited to play. We're looking forward to the challenge. FIU has a new group of guys, new coaching staff. I'm sure they'll come in here ready to play and be hungry. I think our guys are ready to match the challenge.
We'll open up the questions for Coach Scott Frost, please. It's *1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll go to Leo Haggerty with It's Sports Magazine.
Good morning, Coach.
How are you?
Pretty good. Coach, coming off your first full season at UCF, what do you view as your biggest challenge that you still have to deal with?
Probably our biggest challenge would be getting over the hump. We were close in a bunch of games last year that we didn't win. A little more execution, a little more effort, a little more depth could have got us over the hump in some of those games. We've made a bunch of improvements on our team. We're going to be in a lot of close games again this year, and we have to be able to get over the hump.
Coach, the NCAA has gotten rid of the two-a-days. Good or bad, in your opinion?
I think there's some good and some bad. The change happened so late that people were scrambling to figure out the best way to accomplish what you needed to accomplish in the time frame that they gave us. There's some good from the standpoint that they let us get our 29 practices in. I think some of the challenges that came along with that were interesting. When we started camp, our guys were still in summer school. We've been practicing for a month now without playing a game, so the camp took a lot longer and was probably taxing in other ways on players around the country because of the duration of it. So there's some good and some bad, but I think everybody's probably going to have to find the right formula to make sure they get their team ready.
Coach, last question, and thank you for your time today. The AAC, 3 coaches left and went to Power 5 conference teams. Does this validate the level of football that's being played in the AAC?
Yeah, I think this is a really good conference. It's not just a good football conference. It's a deep football conference. Every week that you show up, there's teams that can beat you, and I think that speaks to the depth of this league. I don't think that the trend is going to change. If a team's really good in this league, I think their coaches are going to be desired by people because of the level of football played in this conference. Top to bottom, it's a good league, and I think there's a lot of good football coaches in this league.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Andrew Dottie with Hero Sports.
Hey, Coach. Coach Osborne visited last week, and you talked about how much he means to you and that your players really dialed in on what wisdom he had for them. I wanted you to talk a little bit more about that. Why is it such a tremendous opportunity to have a legend like Coach Osborne coming and talking to your guys?
Well, he is a legend. What he accomplished on the football field speaks for itself. He's accomplished even more off the field. The impact that he's made on every single player that played for him and other people throughout the state of Nebraska and around the country is special. He's given himself and his life to making young football players better, but also to improve the world around him. There's a lot of wisdom in those years, and he's my hero in this business and will remain that way. Getting our players a chance to listen to him, I think, was special for me and for the team.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good one.
We'll go next to Dan Tortoro with WakeUpCalled.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Good, Dan. How you doing?
Good. To speak on quarterback Mackenzie Milton and just what you've seen as far as, his improvement areas, what he's done to take a hold of this offense and heading into this season, just what sticks out the most to you when it comes to him?
I think his familiarity with the offense is going to help him a bunch. The experience he got last year is going to help him. He was kind of a example of our entire offense last year. We played a lot of young guys last year. Some of them were ready to play. Others may or may not have been ready to play, but they were forced into action because of the situation. We threw Mackenzie into the deep end and right into the fire off the heels of Justin Holman's injury. I thought at times he did really well. Other times he looked like an 18-year-old freshman. The experience that he got last year is going to help him a bunch. He's been a lot more efficient in this camp. His understanding of the offense is a lot better, and everything's operating smoother and better. But that's kind of the way it is with our entire offense. I think as a group they understand our schemes better, and we've executed at a higher rate than we did a year ago.
And then as far as something as we've talked about before, when it comes to recruiting, being in the state of Florida with Butch Davis, Lane Kiffin, Jimbo Fisher, Mark Richt, and company, as well as what you're working to do there, just what you can say about keeping Florida talent in Florida, and now it's Charlie Strong being in the conference, just what it's like going out on those recruiting trails, and inevitably you're going to cross paths with some of these guys.
Yeah, we cross paths with a lot of people because everybody's in Florida, and the reason everybody's in Florida is this is where the best talent is. I think, having been around the country, Florida is right up with the top states in the country as far as total talent, but it's very concentrated here. So there's coaches from all over the country down here recruiting, and we run into all of them on the recruiting trail. UCF has a lot to sell, and I've said that a lot, but I think our recruiting class last year speaks to how well we're going to be able to recruit here, not just last year, but in years going forward. And I know when players have a chance to look at what this university has to offer, we're going to be one of the first choices of the kids in this state.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Coach, we thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to hearing from you again next Monday.
Thank you.